Tonight, just one new COVID-19 infection recorded in Broken Hill as cases continue to drop. And a new survey reveals high fatigue among regional nurses.
From our 7 Spencer Golf Studios, your nightly news with Ruby Kamain begins now.
Good evening. For the third straight day, COVID numbers in New South Wales have declined, a positive for the far west. While it's a refreshing change, it will still be some time before it's clear whether case numbers have peaked across the state.
1,127 new cases and 2 deaths in New South Wales, the lowest numbers in around a fortnight.
It's too early to know if we're flattening the curve, but we're seeing pleasingly so far that cases haven't been increasing as fast as they have been.
Numbers in Broken Hill also positive. 1 new case to 8 p.m, 4 in Wilcannia. There are 7 patients in Broken Hill's COVID ward. A 13-year-old boy who has the virus is in intensive care in Adelaide for non-COVID related treatment. Another COVID positive patient transferred to the ICU in Orange.
If they're coming to even a low-level ICU, there's always a chance the person can, take a turn for the worse. So we're making it we're playing it safe essentially.
Further casual contact exposure sites identified this afternoon. More information can be found on the New South Wales government website. Locals urged to get tested, with rates still relatively low.
You talked about Saturday. Those 10 individuals would have been out and about visiting various shops, and that's why we've got so many venues of concern.
Meanwhile, a dance division is appearing among our health workers. Marimar throwing down a gauntlet to other organisations to show off their moves. RFDS taking up the challenge, even bringing in dinosaurs. A touch of positivity and a reminder COVID won't last forever. Lachlan Itter, 7 Spencer Golf News.
Meanwhile, all South Australians aged 12 and over can now receive the Pfizer vaccination. Premier Stephen Marshall says the state's increased vaccination service is a result of a boost in supplies.
Teenagers now able to roll up their sleeves in the fight against coronavirus. SA Health announcing anyone aged 12 and over can receive the Pfizer vaccination.
Securing additional doses of both the Pfizer and the Moderna, they're flowing through now, and that's what gives us the confidence to open up more appointments and make it as simple as possible. 12 and over now, Pfizer available, get it into your arm.
While South Australian Year 11 and 12 students aged 16 and over can get priority walk-in access upon showing their student card.
We know that Year 11 and 12 students have got some exams which are coming up. We want to give them the opportunity to get that Pfizer into their arm as quickly as possible.
With hopes of fully vaccinating students before they finish the school year, clinics in Port Augusta, Whyalla and Port Lincoln are accepting walk-in visits.
We're open now to anyone 12 years and over, so whole families can come in, bring your children in as long as they're 12 and above, and we'll do everyone.
The announcement coming as South Australia continues to record higher vaccination numbers each week. SA Health expecting the jab run rate to pick up even more with the latest eligibility of students.
We've got more vaccine available, we've got more places where you can get vaccinated. I do think we'll be seeing those numbers increase.
Edward McCarroll, 7 Spencer Golf News.
A new survey by the Nursing and Midwifery Federation has found a high rate in fatigue and burnout among the state's nurses. The union says health workers, especially in regional and rural areas, are heavily impacted by shortages in the workforce.
Highlighting the heavy workload on the shoulders of South Australian nurses. A new survey from the SA branch of the Australian Nursing and Midwifery Federation finding 70% of respondents reported they have worked unpaid overtime this year. A further 24% admitting to working double shifts.
The sense of fatigue and frustration is one that really came through in this survey, in a deeply disturbing way.
The most worrying statistic, more than half of those surveyed planning to leave their jobs within the next 5 years. The Federation says the health system, especially in regional areas like the Spencer Gulf, is understaffed, under-resourced and struggling to cope with the demand. Also calling for more graduate nurses to be hired and to stop voluntary redundancies.
There are not enough staff, there's not enough nurses and midwives to do the work that is required.
The state government is keen to attract more staff into the workforce as soon as possible. Health Minister Stephen Wade saying the rest of the country is also seeing the same issue.
There's been significant demands on the hospital network, and that's why both the Health Ministers meeting and National Cabinet this week, the focus is on hospital demand right across the country.
Mark Zita, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
Still to come tonight, construction of the Port Augusta Renewable Energy Park nearly complete, and good winter rainfalls lead to risks of foot rot in South Australian sheep. Welcome back. South Australia's transition to 100% net renewables is another step closer, with the Port Augusta Renewable Energy Park nearing completion. The combined wind and solar energy output is expected to closely match the state's electricity demand profile.
In the shadow of the Flinders Ranges, these 50 new wind turbines now stand in the Port Augusta Renewable Energy Park.
From a local's perspective, the turbines are what we see more than anything else, and having the last turbine construction being completed is a major milestone for this project.
The $500 million hybrid wind and solar project seeing the construction of the last wind turbine this week.
Various wind turbines, we've got 50 wind turbines of about 4.2 megawatts each, and then we've got about 200 megawatts of solar panels integrated, and they're controlled in an integrated manner.
The Energy and Mining Minister says the project's combined solar and wind generation output should contribute to lower electricity prices, whilst also assisting in the security and reliability of the grid.
Great wind resource area, and the location in South Australia, clearly from a solar perspective, it's got good solar sort of resource as well.
Port Augusta also chosen to host the project with its skilled workforce.
And we've put a fair bit of effort, I think, in terms of getting local employment into the area.
200 people employed during construction, over a quarter of them being local people, Port Augusta people, Wilmington people, Corn people.
Edward McCarroll, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
Wireless Foreshore jetty has been shortlisted as a finalist as one of the top 7 local government projects in the country. LG Professionals Australia commending the multi-million-dollar development for its open collaboration with residents.
It's a feature that has put Whyalla on the map. The local Government Professionals Australia naming the Foreshore jetty as a finalist in this year's Innovative Management Initiative Award for local governments.
Being on the national level is excellent. It's probably further evidence that we have been doing a great job here at Council. The livability of Whyalla has really come a long way in the last few years.
The judging panel praising the project for using high quality and high strength materials and sourcing locally made steel. Its lifespan guaranteed for at least the next 80 years as a result.
The community did choose the shape that the jetty has been built in, so that's been seen as something that's very unique and attracted people to it.
The LGPA also commending the Whyalla City Council for actively consulting local residents throughout the construction phases, calling the project innovative, unique and iconic.
We didn't expect to get nominated for any awards, so to win the state award has been excellent for us. It has helped the town. Our visitor numbers are up about 40% on last year.
The Foreshore jetty will compete with 7 other projects from states such as Western Australia and Tasmania. The winner will be announced later this year. Mark Zita, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
Sheep producers are being urged to remain vigilant for foot rot following healthy winter rains in most sheep areas. The Department of Primary Industries and Regions has already received reports of lameness, with foot rot confirmed as the cause. The key to good management of the disease is early detection. The department says if producers observe foot rot in their flocks, it must be reported to an animal health advisor or vet. A specialist legal service who has assisted more than 1,500 domestic violence victims in the state has been recognised for its work. The Women's Domestic Violence Court Assistance Service, awarded this year's Law Society's Justice Award for its work in assisting women who have experienced domestic violence. If you or anyone you know needs help, please call 1-800-RESPECT for 24/7 support. Broken Hill locals are being encouraged to nominate inspirational community members for the 2022 Australia Day Awards. Nominations have now opened for Citizen of the Year, Senior and Youth Citizens of the Year and the Youth Encouragement Award. Deputy Mayor Christine Adams saying it's a chance to recognise those going above and beyond during the pandemic. Entries will be accepted until October 20 and can be made through Council's website. Stay with us after the break. Round 5 of the Great State Travel Vouchers goes live. And a Clare Valley winery adds another major award to their collection. We'll see you again soon. Hello again. The latest round of the popular Great State Vouchers is officially open for ballot, with a selection of experiences up for grabs across the state. The scheme aiming to help boost the struggling tourism industry post the pandemic.
If you're after a holiday getaway, now might be the time to try.
Now is a perfect time for us to, explore all of these things that are, all of these beautiful things that our state has to offer.
Round 5 of the Great State Travel Voucher Scheme opening for ballot yesterday, offering the chance to get up to $200 of participating tours and experiences across the state. Reef Encounters Fishing Charters in Marion Bay, one of many experiences on offer, the provider participating for the second time.
We've seen a lot of people that normally wouldn't try a fishing charter come out and give it a go, so it's been great. We've seen a lot of families come out that have really enjoyed it.
She says while they have seen an increase in bookings, the influx of visitors is also benefiting the local economy.
The May and June, that's generally our quieter period, so it was great to see people coming through through those months, and not just for us, it's the flow-on effect too.
Round 6 will launch on Monday with $100 accommodation vouchers for use on participating CBD and North Adelaide hotels, $50 for use on accommodation in suburban and regional SA. This will be the third time Bungaree Station in the Clare Valley has taken part, with staff excited to welcome new and returning faces.
It certainly helped with the midweek occupancy of our smaller buildings, and so they really have been helpful for accommodation providers in particular.
But you better get in quick, with Round 5's ballot closing at 5 p.m. tomorrow. Katrina Musson, 7 Spencer Golf News.
4 of Port Lincoln's museums are coming together in an effort to increase visitor numbers through their doors. The city's new Heritage Museum Trail beginning just in time for the school holidays.
Taking a walk back through time, 4 Port Lincoln museums creating a heritage trail for visitors and locals to follow.
A wonderful effort now to have it launched, and we really hope that visitors will visit one and then be encouraged to go on and visit the others.
The trail will guide visitors to the Axel Stenros Maritime Museum, Mill Cottage Museum, Port Lincoln RSL Museum and the Port Lincoln Railway Museum. The businesses all bringing the trail together over the last few months.
Pleasing to see how quickly we managed to get this to come together, and as I said, we're looking forward to it.
A joint brochure has been prepared for patrons to get stamped and show at the next museum they visit. A $1 discount provided at each subsequent location.
It's a tremendous financial discount too for people. They'll end up saving, if they come to the 4 museums in the program, possibly $4 or $5.
With school holidays coming up, the museums are hoping to see young locals through the doors.
And for children to come in and have a look, it's a good school holidays things to do as well.
The discount offer is valid for 3 months from your first visit. Dylan Smith, 7 Spencer Golf News.
A family-owned Clare Valley winery has another accolade to add to their collection following this year's China Wine and Spirits Awards. Winemaker Mitchell Taylor says despite the international trade dispute, its clear Australian wine is top quality.
Recognising top quality Clare Valley wine.
It really just shows the importance and the quality of the regionality that comes out of
the valley and the family are extremely proud.
Taylor's Wine's just one of many Australian wineries who stole the show at the recent China Wine and Spirits Awards. The third-generation winery claiming the trophy for the Clare Valley Wine of the Year for its 2019 Taylor's Reserve Parcel Cabernet Sauvignon.
It signifies that while China these political problems with the trade situation, the Chinese people actually love Australian wine.
Also winning 3 double gold medals and 6 gold medals at the international competition. Winemaker Mitchell Taylor says despite the trade dispute, it's clear Chinese consumers have a strong appetite for quality Australian wine.
When I found out, we were just over the moon because we've had a lot of difficulties in that part of the world. The Cabernet Sauvignon is really an important one. It was the first wine that my grandfather and father made.
Taylor's winning bottle is $25 and can be purchased at selected Dan Murphy's and BWS stores. Katrina Musson, 7 Spencer Golf News.
Stay with us after the break. We'll have all the scores from weekend sport across the region. And John Hunt will join us with the weather details. We'll see you shortly. Welcome back. It was another action-packed weekend of sport across the Spencer Gulf region, with Port Lincoln netballers battling it out to be crowned champions in their respective divisions. Our reporter Dylan Smith has this week's sports wrap.
It was grand final day for Port Lincoln netballers on Saturday, with games going down to the wire. The Port Lincoln Netball Association grand final lived up to all expectations with a nail-biting finale. Wanilla heading into the game as slight favourites after defeating Waybacks a fortnight ago. The sides couldn't be separated heading into the last quarter with both defences on top. However, Waybacks found the advantage in the last quarter with best on ground Gemma Seal and league medalist Brooke Moore taking control. The final score 30-26. Over in the Port Augusta Netball Association, and it was a heart-stopping finish in their grand final. Vikings coming from 6 goals down in the final quarter to defeat minor premiers Railways 48-47. In the Steel City, it was a one-sided affair. Kiwi too strong for True Blue, taking out the title 63-36. There were some big results in the Port Lincoln Soccer League on Sunday. South Coast defeating Seacoal Masters 3-1, booking their spot in this weekend's Cup final. They'll face Lincoln Knights after Charlie Price scored twice to down the Raiders. Now to the Whyalla Soccer Association, where there was everything to play for on the final day, with 2 teams having the chance to clinch the title. In the first game, bottom of the table Wanderers defeated Westlands 3-2. All eyes then shifted to Sunday, where Still United needed a win over Croatia to snatch the title. However, they could only muster a point in an entertaining 3-3 draw. The result meaning Lions were crowned champions on goal difference. And finally, in Port Lincoln's squash pennant competition, Wilkins Electrical defeated iHawk Building, Lincoln Self Storage were too strong for John Payne Painting, and Interact had a hard-fought victory over Hankins Electrical in a close encounter. And that's all for sport from across the region. If you would like to have your team's sports results featured, please let us know at our Facebook page.
Time now to take a look at what's happening in the weather, with John Hunt stepping out from behind the news desk.
Thanks, Ruby, and good evening to everyone across the region. There were partly cloudy conditions across the Spencer Gulf today, with a mixed bag of temperatures depending on where you lived. From 3 p.m, Port Augusta reached a max of 21, Port Lincoln topped 15 degrees, and Broken Hill was a sunny 17 degrees. Looking further out now, in Port Pirie and Coober Pedy both hit 20. Whyalla was 18 degrees. Kadina had light morning frost and reached 17. Adelaide was a cool 14. And Woodna had the region's max of 22 degrees. Taking a look at the satellite image now, and cloud is pushing into the southeast with brisk west to southwesterly winds, and the passage of a cold front is causing showers. Cloud over the west with a trough is bringing the odd spot of rain. Skies are clear air in the north with a dry air mass, and there have been no weather warnings issued as of tonight. Moving on to tomorrow's weather outlook now, and as always, we'll start with the Gulf waters. Easterly winds 10 to 15 knots, seas around 1 metre, and we can expect south to southwesterly swells of 1 to 2 metres. Those partly cloudy conditions are predicted to continue across the region. Port Lincoln 18, Cleve 22 degrees, and Woodna a max of 25. Whyalla to reach 22, 26 degrees in Port Augusta, and Kadina will top 21. Port Pirie set to hit 24 degrees, Clare a partly cloudy 19, and Broken Hill will be mostly sunny and 21. Looking further through the week now, and on Thursday 25 degrees and sunny in Broken Hill. Coober Pedy gets a taste of summer, a warm 35 there. Adelaide to reach 26, Woodna windy and 32 degrees. Partly cloudy conditions across the west of the Gulf. Whyalla a high of 29, a degree warmer in Port Pirie, Kadina a max of 27. We can expect some wet conditions on Friday. Rain predicted in Coober Pedy, Port Pirie, Kadina, Adelaide, Broken Hill and Port Augusta. Whyalla a windy 33 degrees. Partly cloudy conditions for Woodna, a top of 28, and similar conditions expected in Port Lincoln, a max of 24 degrees. And looking out to the weekend now, rain and 18 degrees for Port Lincoln and Adelaide on Saturday, a partly cloudy top of 24 in Port Augusta, Coober Pedy and Broken Hill, and you can expect similar conditions elsewhere. And that's all the weather from me for tonight. Gee, I like doing this. I wonder if Alex is up for a swap. Back to you, Ruby.
Love your work, John. And that's the local news this Tuesday evening. Thanks for joining us. I'll have updates later. Until then, enjoy your evening. Good night.